Hello friends and enemies, welcome to or back to Happy Pronounced Me. Isabel here with a try a chapter for you. This was a request from one of my members. They actually curated me a whole fantastic list of options, and that is to read webtoons, manhwas, etc. on various apps. So I'm gonna show you the 11 options I picked. One of them I added myself because I keep getting advertised it. I've had a couple of y'all suggest it to me as well. It seems right up my alley and I thought, why not? Why not? So I will also caveat, I do own a handful of manhwas and there will be a manhwa volume 1 video at some point as well. And some of the ones I read I do own. So that they may appear twice at some point. But let's go through the list here and I will tell you where you can find each one because I know I didn't do a good job in the video of telling you, and I'll also have it in the description below. So we have A Business Proposal, which is a workplace romance. It is completed, it is on Tapas and in print, so you may be able to get it at your library. There's also a K-drama for this one. Then we have Brother Knows Best, which is also a fantasy romance. It is also complete. It is also on Tapas. About $30-ish if you want to pay to read it all. Then I have Let Me Die in Peace, which is another fantasy romance, also complete, also on Tapas, and about $28 to read all of it, which, you know, not terrible compared to some of these. Then we have Run and Meil, which is a fantasy romance comedy. This is on Webtoon. No, this is on Tapas. And apparently it was canceled, so the end may feel a little rushed. $22-ish to read. Then we have Solo Leveling, a very popular manhwa. This has an anime and all that good stuff as well. This would be an action fantasy type genre. This is available on Tapas and in print. One, again, I feel like you could get at your library or potentially used bookstore pretty easily. I know I've found volumes of it pretty easily. Then we have My Husband Changes Every Night, which is on Webtoon, and you can read a large portion of this one for free and do the daily chapter thing, which is nice. Otherwise it'd cost you about $25. Then we have I Raised a Black Dragon, another romantic fantasy. This one is on Manta, and I don't believe it's part of their subscription, unfortunately, which I am really sad about because we'll talk about it when I get there. It was very fun. About $27 to read. Then we have What's Wrong with Secretary Kim, another one that is, I actually own the entire series on my shelf. It is on Tappytoon. So a different platform this time. It is an office romance and it is available in print as well. About $33 to read it on the app. Then we have Juliet. We're not in Kansas anymore. This is one that is set in America, so that's an interesting change of pace. This is considered a action fan. That can't be right. I think I wrote down the wrong genre. I think it's a contemporary romance type thing. It is on Manta as well, and you can use their subscription to read it. Otherwise it'd be like $28-ish. Then we have Escape from the Daytime Drama. This is an isekai where we get transported into a daytime drama, like a daily soap opera, like that kind of daytime drama. And that person is transported in as the villain of the story. It is also on Tapas and about $18. And then last but not least, I have The Mafia Nanny, which is another romantic, contemporary romance situation with mafia themes and a nanny. This is on Webtoon. You could do the daily free chapters. I did not do the math on this one. This one is also currently available in print, like volume 1 just came out recently, so that is a way to pick it up. But yeah, I have 11 of these to read. I know it's a weird number, but I could not come up with the 12th one that struck my fancy for this video, so that's where we landed. Anyways, I'll have timestamps down below if you want to jump around to different ones. This will be a pretty quick one, but you can do that down there, and I'll be back in a few to wrap this up and tell you all about what I want to continue reading. Read the prologue of Brother Knows Best. I'm going to read both because I feel like a prologue we have to include in a try chapter. I'm intrigued. Basically, she does everything she can to protect her brother, it looks like, and dies, and then her brother and another man that she didn't know about make a wish situation so that she comes back. So we'll see how that goes. I'm going to read chapter 1 and I'll be right back. But I like the art style so far for this one a good bit also. I think it's pretty and it has a really fun backgrounds to it with like florals and stuff. I will show you here on a screenshot up here next to my head of it. But yeah, I really am liking that part of it. I just finished the first chapter of Brother Knows Best and I am intrigued. Basically, I guess she comes back to life in some capacity. They get to redo time, it seems. And he decides to take out the current emperor so she can be the empress because she says she would do a better job. And he has done that. So that is a very intriguing open in my opinion. I'm curious and intrigued for sure to see where and how it's going to play out because, hello? He's rubbing my finger that is holding the camera. Anyways, yeah, I quite liked it. That was very fun, very silly. I am intrigued. I like the art. It's manhwa art. Like, most manhwa art is very samey, and not like an insulting way, but like the first chapter, my impressions are like, this was fun. I enjoyed it. So that was a good pick so far. And we're gonna continue forth. I have no idea what I'm reading next, so you'll find out whenever I come back. I thought I was gonna be all cozy in my reading chair, reading these manhwas. No, I'm in my office chair because Peas and Millie have taken over the Tapas. Bought it for me. Swear I did. Currently have my feet between them, so I'm not showing you. I just read the first chapter, the prologue and first chapter of A Business Proposal, which I own on my shelves in there. And honestly, so like, I've talked about in other videos, I'm feeling kind of slumpy, and I'm so silly because you know what's hitting the spot? These manhwas, scrolling on my iPad and reading them. Because it feels like I'm not reading. But anyways, I read the first chapter of A Business Proposal. I'm very intrigued. I love the opening where she's like hiding behind the plant pot. Like, and he's there. That was very silly. That was very fun. I enjoyed that a lot. So yeah, I liked it. I'm intrigued. I will be reading the physicals I have. So like, I wasn't wrong when I bought physicals of this, is the good news. But yeah, I need to actually read the whole first volume. So that's going to have to happen soon. Okay, just read volume 1, chapter 1 of the Mafia Nanny. Listen, this has been proposed. This has been advertised to me a lot, like a whole freaking bunch. And I think we're finally getting print editions. And honestly, do not be shocked if I'm current with the Mafia Nanny at the end of the vlog that you see the week after this. I have a feeling I might be. I really enjoyed that first chapter. I'm very intrigued. I think it's such an interesting setup. And honestly, that's all I need. Sometimes, you know, I just need an interesting setup. And that's exactly what I got. So I'm happy about that. So yeah, I think that one was fun. So she basically, her family's killed in a mafia situation, like as a hit, it seems. And she goes to train with her nanny at the exclusive nanny training thing for like bodyguard nannies. I cannot remember what it was called, but she goes to train there. And when she graduates, this guy's there and he's demanding a brand new nanny, someone who's never done the job yet. And he picks her from the list, even though her specialties are like cybersecurity. And I just think it's going to be fun. I really do. I liked the kid already too. The kid crashed his meeting and was like demanding chocolate milk. Or milk, and they brought him chocolate milk. And I was like, I'm here for it. I'm very here for it. So I'm going to continue on because this is honestly scratching such an itch in my brain right now that I didn't know I had. So well timed on my content calendar, I guess. But on to the next one. Let Me Die in Peace has a really interesting premise. Basically, our heroine is continuously reincarnated into the villainess and is trying to find a way to die peacefully instead of gruesomely, and has been reincarnated like 5 times now. And I think that's really intriguing as a setup for one of these. I definitely don't, like, I don't mind the isekai thing where like they end up in a different world or a different person, but it's not like my go-to thing to read, if that makes sense. And I feel like because of that, I'm always like semi-hesitant, I guess we'll say, to dive in to this and to read this, like to read these, because I feel like they get very samey, right? Like there's a couple I'm interested in, and I have Villains Are Destined to Die, and I want to read more of that. There's another one that just started coming out, She's Dark Hair, that I'm intrigued by, but Let Me Die in Peace to me feels very different from those, so I am intrigued. I did like the art. I think that was an interesting chapter 1 and an interesting setup. So we'll see if I continue it or not. Because like I said, there's most likely I'll continue like a handful of these that I read. I'm not good about picking up my apps. So there's that. But yeah, so far this one really surprised me. I'm really curious to see what I think as I read the next one. Because that's definitely one of the more unique ones I've picked up so far. So that's nice. I'll be right back. Just read Run Meal. I'm assuming that's how you say it. It's supposed to be a fantasy romance comedy, and I'm also curious. She has like a prophetic dream situation, so she is trying to get her dad to let her go to this place and meet this person so she can prevent it from happening, because the prophecy is that this blonde princess is going to take over the world, basically, and like burn everything down. So I'm intrigued, and I do think I would like to read more of it. I was told by my member who put together this list for me that it gets kind of rushed because it seems like it was canceled potentially or something. So we'll keep that in mind. But I'm intrigued. This is one that's going to be like lower on the list because of the fact that the ending's rushed, but I might read a little bit more of it. On to Solo Leveling though, which I also own a couple volumes of. So let's see what I think. I have one. I'm on the pop. But on that note, so I just finished Solo Leveling, well, chapter 1. I keep wanting to say volume. I'm not reading volumes. I'm only reading chapters. I'm intrigued. I've watched, I think, all of the anime, and I enjoyed it, but I wonder if I would like it more in this format, because the art of it is great, to be honest. So there's that. But also, I think it would have a little more room to develop like a better story. I'm intrigued. I have 2 volumes on my shelf, so I will be reading those 2 volumes and then determining if I'm continuing or not, or if I just want to read it digitally, which digital may be the likely outcome, especially because I could probably get a lot of it from the library. I don't know that I want to own that series forever or anything. That was interesting. It's definitely the most unique and different art style of all of the ones I've read so far, because it is more of an action story, and I think that's part of it. I feel like the romance ones, specifically a lot of the historicals, have very, 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 very similar styles, which is fine. Like, that is not, by no means is that a complaint. It's just what the reality of it, right? So yeah, that was interesting. I'm intrigued. We'll see what I decide here at the end. Like I said, I'm gonna pick a handful after we're done here to say what I'm gonna continue. But onward, we're gonna read the last one I have on Tapas. Okay, out of the chair because I can get more footage. But I finished the daytime drama one, this one. Oh my god. I'm going to be, I can guarantee you this is making the cut of what I'm going to be reading all of, because this is interesting. So she ends up in a daily soap opera, basically, and is the villainess. And like, we opened with her getting slapped with kimchi, so that's wild. But 2, I'm just really intrigued. Like, again, another one that's a very unique plot. So I will be continuing. I also really liked the art style, and our heroine, like, we end with her like vision board of all of the plots of the show so she can follow where she is in the timeline, I guess. And I think that's really interesting. Like, that's a different play on this. I don't feel like I've ever seen them have it mapped out like that, and I am deeply intrigued, to say the least, on how this is mapped out. So I definitely want to read more of this one sooner than later. Okay, I just read What's Wrong with Secretary Kim, and I ended up reading three chapters on accident because I was intrigued enough that I just kind of kept swiping. This is the hard part with the Webtoon try a chapter, because I'm like, oh, I'm interested, I'll keep going. But I really liked this. I think it's really interesting that she's basically like quitting this high power job situation as this guy's secretary, and people are like, what do you mean you're leaving? And he's like, I don't understand that you're leaving me. So I'm really, really intrigued to see how that plays out as I continue the series. I do own the entire series in print, so I will be reading it for sure. Like, I will be reading all of it, and I'm really, really curious to see what I think as I continue on. But I really like the setup. I really like the art. I really like a contemporary like this also. I think it can just be fun, and I definitely would like to watch one of the adaptations for this, so there's also that. Okay, so I raised a black dragon. I love this concept. Basically, this egg hatches and it's a dragon, turns into a child, and she's like been reincarnated as the villain in the story, and she's trying to pivot it so she can just like live a chill life. I kind of love it. I really like the art. I really like the setup here. I actually read 2 chapters of it on Again, same thing. I kept scrolling. I was like, oops, here we are. But I really like the art. I really like the setup here. This is definitely one that's going on my list. I need to see if I can read it through Manta on the subscription or not, because that's the only part I'm unsure of right now. And that's the part I would be most curious about. But yeah, if I can, I think I would get the subscription and read it to be current. So let's read our next contemporary. Okay, Juliet, We're Not in Kansas is very silly. I am unsure on if I would get tired of the references constantly, but if it moves on quickly from that, I think I would enjoy it. It's also included in the Manta subscription, which I think is like nice because it's not that much to pay for. Our heroine's name is Juliet and is constantly getting told Romeo and Juliet jokes, of course. The Kansas setting is really funny. One of the guys had a shirt on that said like, whatever, kickball, baseball. And I was like, okay, this is an interesting choice, but sure, why not? Whatever. I thought that was kind of funny. And a transfer student from England named Romeo. So cue them getting paired together and stuff like that to give a school tour and all that. So yeah, I think it was cute. It was fun. I like this. I think it's really funny reading a Manwhas set in Kansas. Like, that seems so random, but I'm not opposed by any means. I'm not opposed to it, so I may continue it at some point. The art is cute. It feels appropriate. They're like juniors in high school, so I'm a little bit intrigued to see where it goes. So it's definitely on my list for like if I renew my Manta subscription at some point to read it that way. On to our last one. Okay, I am a sucker for the like family doesn't want you trope situation, and that is exactly what's happening in My Husband Changes Every Night, and it appears she has some kind of powers, so I'm sold. I really like this one, and honestly I can read a large portion of it on Webtoon before I have to watch ads or pay, so that is also a win. But yeah, I really like this one. I think it's interesting. She basically has like defended herself against attacks from her whole family repeatedly, and her mom's gone, and her mom's gone, so they ship her off because she's the only appropriate princess in the family to send off for this wedding or this empress hunt that this king is having, and he's known as like a drunk and a tyrant and all these things, and she doesn't want to go. And then she gets there and he's like, it's you, it's who I am destined for. And she's like, shit. So I love that setup. I really like the art. I think it's interesting. Obviously the title has me very intrigued, and that means I will be continuing it most likely. So there's that. Anyways, I'm going to meet you in front of the bookshelves to wrap this up, and we'll talk about what ones I'm going to prioritize to read here and what ones are going to stay on my maybe at some point list. I will be back to talk to y'all soon. Okay, so 11 entrants were acquired for this, right? I'm leaving with 7 that I would like to read. Now, 3 of them I own some physicals of, so that's part of them staying on the list. So we have What's Wrong with Secretary Kim. I'm really excited for more of. Again, I own it all. Like, I own the entire series completed, so it's staying on the list. Then we have The Mafia Nanny, which is the one I'm probably most likely going to be reading in a weekly vlog very soon. Then we have A Business Proposal. Also really intrigued by this one, which apparently I only own volume 1 of, so that's a nice surprise for myself. And then we have My Husband Changes Every Night, because I really did like this one. I think this was an interesting setup, and I'm intrigued by like her whole family dynamic happening. Then we also have Escape from the Daytime Drama. I really, really liked this one. This is probably one of the most unique ones I read this whole time. So that was easy to keep on. And then we have Solo Leveling, which I have volume 1 and 2 on my shelves. So it feels like mine as well when it comes to continuing with reading through things I own. And then last but not least, we have I Raised a Black Dragon. So yeah, I may end up just like subduing my subscription and using some of those gems to read this one. I don't know, something. I'm going to do something at some point so that I can read this one. I haven't fully determined my strategy here. I will say one of the things I don't love about Manta is they don't have as many offers like Webtoon or Tapas does, where I can watch ads or play a game and earn points to then read a thing. And I do find that like beneficial for my brain at least. But yeah, I'm excited. I feel really good about this. This definitely scratched the itch in my brain I didn't know I had at the moment to read more of these webtoons and stuff like that, to like change up my reading a little, since I've been struggling so hard to pick up anything else. And I'm enjoying things I'm reading, but then I'm like, I don't want to read any of this. All of this is terrible. I hate the world. So that's been a nice change of pace, to say the least, for me. So yeah, that's everything. Let me know if there's any you think I should check out. Should I do another round of this? I could very easily. I have more on the list that my member recommended me. And I also have, you know, others I could find and try. But overall, this was really fun to do and a really nice change of pace for me in these try chapters. So that was fun. Let me know any webtoons you think I should read in the comments, or manhwas. And if you don't do any of that, leave me a car emoji, because I feel like a lot of the contemporary ones I read had a lot of car scenes, and that was really funny to me. So you can leave me a car emoji down below. I'll have links to these, and I'll denote down there where that you can find them, which apps, if you're curious, and if there's print copies, I'll link to those. So I'll do that down below. And otherwise, y'all can find links to me where I find anywhere on the internet that I am, and I will catch y'all in just a few days in my next video. Bye!
Already packing, come with me. I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be. Life with no distractions. We'll get away. This is what we waited.